The next thing we're going to take a look at is the creation of Rx maps and the top 10 analysis. So first we'll look at Rx map creation. When I'm looking at my list of maps for a field and I have one of those maps selected, the Rx map icon becomes active. So if I tap on the Rx map icon, I gain access to the details for that field in terms of the brand and product and crop that I've assigned. If there's any response scores tied to that product, I see those there as well. If there's photos for that product, I can take a look at those photos, can work through the images here by tapping on the images down here or using my arrows. And again, I can pinch and zoom. If I wanted to create a report of those pictures, tap on the print icon in the top right, and it's going to generate a report that I could send to myself or send to an email. When I'm done, I can just close that down. Now, if I'm looking at the images and I decide that this is the place for me to switch some of my products, I can go ahead and do that right here as well. And I might find another product in my list that I like better. When I'm done, I can close out of there. If there's a technical sheet tied to that, I can access that tech sheet right here. So we'll close out of there. And finally, entering in my values for seeds and fertilizer. Just tap in one of the white boxes and I can start to populate that with the values. When I hit next, it's going to move to the next box, and so on. Save in the top right will save my Rx map. And if I want to export that plan, I tap on my curl, bottom right hand corner, and I see the export option right there. So that's going to export that shapefile. The next thing we'll take a look at is the top 10 analysis. You'll find the top 10 in the bottom left hand corner. It looks just like it does on the website. So you can search on your map view, look at around a current location. You can also look around a city, and in this case we will look around Minneapolis. The results show up in a bar graph and they're ranked from the highest percent of mean to the lowest. You'll see the maturity associated to each product underneath the bar, and you'll see each product down here. As I tap on the bars, they become red. And if I have any images for those products, those images will populate on the right here. I can slide up and down, and if I scroll to the right, I'll see additional images for other products. And all of those images are now available for me to not only look at, compare one another, but we can also click on one and it will enlarge in the center. We can pinch and zoom, and we can also print. We have a better way to compare our photos now next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of here. When we're looking at the bar graph, you'll notice on the top right up here that there's access to a few different icons. The first icon on the left, if we tap that, will give us a list of any products that have tech sheets tied to them. So if we tap on that one, we'll load the tech sheet that we have in the tool. The next icon brings up the raw data tied to the analysis. And finally, the PDF icon gives us the top 10 report. Once I have selected my bars, I can also look at the percent of mean on soil type. If I tap the percent mean on soil type and move my slider along the bottom here, it will update those bars as I look at fine, medium, or coarse soil. The products don't change location, they stay in the same spot along the bar graph, but the bars move up and down depending on the percent of mean. Once I've selected ones that I want to move to the next stage and look at some of the response scores, on the top left I can decide if I want to add additional products. When I add those and I hit done, they're added to my bar graph. And I can select those, and if I want to move to the next response score page, I can hit the compare icon on the top left. That brings me to the screen that I can look at the response scores, whether it's the population nitrogen or corn on corn response. If I want to look at all of them, I can do that as well.